In the world of geopolitics, is Greenland really that important? Much has been said and feared over it. Let's focus on what really matters, leaving aside all the political and media circus. To keep things in context, in terms of size, Greenland is about 20% of the size of the United States, even if the traditional Mercator map projection shows differently. The first degree of importance of Greenland relates to commercial shipping. Climate change and the progressive sea ice melting will open up new possibilities and enable traversing the Arctic for certain periods of time during the year. Historically, sea travel in the area is barely possible, whether through the Northwest Passage from Alaska to northeast Canada, or by the Northeast Passage along Russia's north coast to the Atlantic Ocean and North Sea route. Only recently have we seen some shipping activity, Chinese, in the latter two, precisely due to the receding Arctic Sea. The same reason that currently makes sea travel so difficult also makes any search and rescue operation a big challenge. Therefore, if the Arctic continues to decrease in size, a new passage simply through it becomes a reality. This would be very important, especially to China and its commerce with Europe. For the Chinese, a new shipping route along the Arctic is a game changer, saves travel time and is especially safer, as current routes involve up to 5 choke points: the Strait of Malacca, the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, the Suez Canal, the Strait of Gibraltar, and the English Channel. We made a video about the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb, its importance and how sensitive it is. We definitely recommend you check it out. While we're at it, let's take a minute to explain what a choke point is. When it comes to trade, large-scale supply chains must be reliable to meet demand. Many of them have a choke point, which is their weakest link and, for any particular reason, is exposed to disruption. War, piracy, weak infrastructure, or weather, all of them can play a role. Choke points can either be maritime in canals or straits, coastal in a port, or inland in a river or railway. Disruption at a choke point can be catastrophic, even if it lasts for a few days or a week. Price inflation, shortages, and political instability are byproducts of disruptions in supply chains. Next, rare earths. Despite the name, they're not necessarily rare. These are critical minerals, a group of 17 metals to be precise. Very important for modern technology, clean energy, and advanced manufacturing. What is rare is to find them in pure form, making it economically viable for extraction. As you can see, Greenland is not even in the top 10 for rare earth mines in the world. There are plenty of other places on Earth that carry much less difficulty to mine, since Greenland is covered in ice most of the year, not to mention the severe lack of roads in the territory. Much like shipping routes, rare earth mining in Greenland becomes of higher importance depending on the effects of climate change in the future. Before we move any further, please consider leaving us a like and subscribing to the channel. 2 clicks make all the difference and help the channel grow. Also, if you think this content is important, feel free to share it and leave us your thoughts below. Thank you. Finally, Greenland's strategic importance for the United States' national security. Russia and China have held joint military drills in the Northern Pacific, and Russia has had major military activity in the North Sea. Greenland is therefore strategic, especially with the predictable thawing of the Arctic Sea. President Trump's revival of the Monroe Doctrine signals a primary concern about everything that happens along the American continent. And while Greenland is part of Europe politically, in geographical terms, it could easily be a part of the Americas. Its importance is nothing new, as the island was strategic for the USA during the Cold War, when the Americans had up to 6,000 troops and 15 military installations there. As of the beginning of 2026, the USA has only 150 troops stationed on the island and a single base, the Pitofik Space Base. This base monitors any possible missile launch from Russia. Due to its geographical position, early warning radar systems in Greenland are vital for the United States defense. Additionally, while NATO has significant alert systems in northern Canada, the GI-UK gap, 2 maritime corridors between Greenland and the UK divided by Iceland, is a reason for concern. In case of a major continental war in Europe between NATO and Russia, the GI-UK gap is vital for American assistance, as any resupply attempt would have to deal with the Russian Northern Fleet coming across. If security is indeed an issue, the US and Denmark can revise their 1951 treaty, something that already happened once in 2004. Article 5, Line 3 clearly states the USA's rights, for example, to freedom of movement of its armed forces. The government of the United States of America may enjoy, for its public vessels and aircraft and its armed forces and vehicles, the right of free access to and movement between the defense areas through Greenland, including territorial waters, by land, air, and sea. This access was contingent on the satisfaction of several requirements, including the US's cooperation, to the fullest degree, with Danish and Greenlandic officials. Article 6 outlines America's respect for all the laws, regulations, and customs pertaining to the local population and the internal administration of Greenland, and every effort will be made to avoid any contact between United States personnel and the local population, which the Danish authorities do not consider desirable for the conduct of operations under this agreement. As part of the treaty, Danish officials also agreed to provide topographical data and other relevant information to the US government to help identify regions in the territory prime for defense operations. These privileges to the US are subject to the approval of the Danish Parliament and are extended for the duration of the North Atlantic Treaty. So, a new revision of this treaty is the best course of action between the United States, Denmark, and the government of Greenland. To summarize, Greenland matters, but context is key. It is indeed important, but certainly not worthy of jeopardizing the existence of NATO, something that only Russia and China would benefit from. President Trump's negotiating tactics are well known by now, and regardless of going beyond any diplomatic playbook, it is up to Europeans to see it for what it is and reach an agreement. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.